Right now, the entire country is quietly watching one case, and the truth is, this matter has moved far beyond ordinary court proceedings. After more than 3 years in detention, what is keeping Nnmadi Kanu where he is today is no longer police action, and it is no longer investigation. The stage we are in now is purely legal. It is a battle of law, procedure, and final judicial decision. Please, before we continue, kindly like this video and subscribe to the channel so you will always receive clear explanations like this. Many people still think his release depends on public pressure or protests, but that is not correct anymore. Once a court has delivered a conviction and sentence, the matter changes completely. From that moment, the case moves into the hands of higher courts. The only recognized path to freedom becomes appeal.
Let me explain slowly so everyone can understand. When a person is tried in a lower court and the court gives judgment, two things can happen. The judgment can stand, or a higher court can review it. That review is called an appeal. The appeal court does not repeat the whole trial from the beginning. Instead, the judges carefully check whether the law was properly applied, whether evidence was properly accepted, and whether the accused person received a fair hearing. This is exactly where the situation is today. Right now, the one major thing standing between Nnmadi Kanu and freedom is whether the higher court agrees with his lawyers or agrees with the prosecutors. That single decision will determine everything. Please like this video and subscribe, and keep listening carefully because I will break it down in very simple English.
His legal team is arguing that mistakes happened during the legal process. They are saying certain procedures were not properly followed and that the conviction should not stand. On the other hand, the prosecution is saying the trial was lawful and the judgment was correct. So you see, this is no longer about emotion, it is about legal interpretation. If the appellate judges say the trial was proper, the conviction remains. If the appellate judges say there were serious legal errors, the conviction can be cancelled. And once a conviction is cancelled, the detention automatically loses its legal foundation. Please do not forget to like and subscribe as we continue. Now, there is another important point many people do not understand. Even if the appeal court makes a decision, the process might not end there.
As the losing side still has the right to go to a higher court again, that means the case can move further up the judicial ladder. That is why this matter has lasted years. Legal processes move slowly because every step must follow written law. This is why you keep hearing words like adjournment, motion, and application. These are not delays without a reason. Each step is a required legal stage. Let me explain in a simpler way. Imagine a ladder with steps. The first step was the trial court. The second step is the appeal court. The final step is the highest court. Each step must be climbed before a final outcome is reached. Please pause for a second and like the video and subscribe. Your support helps us continue to explain important national issues clearly. Another thing that makes this case unique is that it also has a political atmosphere around it. While the courts handle the legal matter, political leaders and community leaders have been making public appeals for dialogue and peaceful resolution. However, it is important to understand something clearly. Political discussions cannot cancel a conviction by themselves. Only the courts can overturn a judgment legally. But there is still a second path that can exist in rare situations, and that is executive intervention. Governments sometimes choose reconciliation approaches for national peace. That does not cancel the law. It is a separate constitutional process. However, that decision is entirely discretionary and not automatic. So at this moment, there are two possible doors, but only one is active now. The active door is the appeal process. Let us slow down again so everyone understands. He is not waiting for arrest release. He is not waiting for investigation. He is waiting for judicial review. Please like and subscribe before we continue. Another reason this case has remained in the news is because it touches sensitive national discussions. For some people, it is a legal issue. For others, it is political. And for many, it is emotional. But courts do not operate on emotion. Courts operate on written law and evidence. Judges are required to ignore public opinion and follow legal standards only. This is why, even if many people talk about it daily, the judges must focus only on legal arguments presented before them. the appeal judges will check key questions. Was the charge properly filed? Was the court competent? Was the evidence acceptable? Was the defendant given a fair opportunity to defend himself? If the answer to these questions is yes, the conviction stands. If the answer is no, the conviction may be overturned. Please support the channel by liking and subscribing. It really helps. Another important point is time. Many people ask why the matter is taking so long. The reason is simple. Appeals require written briefs, responses, counter-responses, and judicial review. Judges read thousands of pages of legal arguments before making a decision. Rushed decisions in sensitive matters can create bigger national problems, so courts move carefully. That is why you hear new dates being fixed repeatedly. It is not necessarily refusal to decide, it is careful legal consideration. At this stage, everything depends on one moment, the day the appellate court delivers its judgment. That single judgment can change the entire direction of the case. If the appeal succeeds, freedom becomes possible immediately. If the appeal fails, detention continues under law unless a further higher appeal changes it. Please kindly like this video and subscribe and stay with me. Another thing many viewers ask is why supporters remain hopeful. The answer is simple. In law, appeal courts have the authority to completely overturn a case if they find legal flaws. There have been past cases in Nigeria where convictions were set aside after review. That is why both sides remain confident in their legal arguments. So the situation today can be described in one clear sentence. The case is no longer about arrest or custody. It is about judicial interpretation of law. Every court date now is extremely important. Every filing matters. Every ruling changes the possibilities. And that is the one thing standing between detention and freedom, the final appellate decision. Please like and subscribe again and share this explanation so others can understand the situation properly.